Hello everybody, welcome back to another day of Vlogtober. There was no sleeping in this morning. I was wide awake this morning. I felt really alert, and when I got out of bed I just felt like there was like a weight off my shoulders. I've just been having this ongoing to-do list for the past 2 weeks, making sure my mom and my son have everything they need for the upcoming cold winter months. Phone calls and emails and getting all the appointments and everything made, and then Steve got the tire appointments booked, you know, and just knowing that this weekend we're going to get a lot of loose ends and everything tied up with the yard work and preparing for the winter. And I couldn't help but reflect back a little bit at the beginning of October and the autumn season and the excitement, and just thinking about how this only comes once a year, and slow down and enjoy it. And I did. I really did. There was so much to do, so much to enjoy, from apples to pumpkins to going for walks to, you know, noticing the leaves changing and all of the autumn activities. And, you know, I think this week was a little bit of a change with everything going on. We were having fires because the weather was so dry, and then it got really windy, and then it rained for 2-3 days, and now it's chilly. It looks like the rain's gonna take a little bit of a break, but it was cold today. My nose was cold and even my feet were cold. And you know, going for walks years and years ago, I would always like listen to music and have headphones and all that. But lately I've just been trying to listen to the sounds of what's going on around me. I think it's really important, especially with e-bikes and people running and just even dogs and everything, just to kind of know what's going on. And you know, I remember one day, like, you could hear the leaves fall, and you know, hearing the squirrels up and down the trees are fighting, and the birds, and you know that. And then this morning it was like people were raking their leaves. There was I think it was a dad and some little kids out putting up an inflatable, and hearing their giggles and everything. And I think there's still little things to enjoy in this season, and we don't need to wish it away and have Christmas and all of that. Like, let's enjoy the last little bit of October, you know, slow down, be in the moment. Just because the beauty of the season is gone doesn't mean there's still not a lot of things to enjoy. So a little reminder to myself, because I'm thinking, oh, like Halloween and blah blah blah, but yeah, you know, we have a couple of things going on this weekend. In real time it's Friday, but I got some things done this morning. I still have a few little things to do. I'm gonna try a new pizza dough recipe for dinner tonight. I'm just gonna update like my brain dump for my meal plan and all of that, and just kind of come up with a little bit of a strategy and all that, doing a little bit of homemakering stuff, you know, what the meals and everything are. Christmas and all of that, we'll talk more about that in November, but we're gonna finish off this month of Vlogtober with just slowing down and enjoying the little things that are still to enjoy in my favorite month of the year. My dishwasher and washing machine are both running, so I'm sorry if you can hear them in the background. I do have a 4-part food organization series linked down below. I keep all of my paperwork and everything in a file folder now. I find that that works, and then I have recipes in here. So I do know that I need beef. I would like a roast or two and some stew, and I would also like a pork loin roast. Now in the summertime, you know, it's usually produce, a lot of barbecue, quick, easy, simple meals, salads, burgers, and all of that. And as we switch into the colder months, I definitely changed the way that I cook. So I just have like some different things to make, heartier meals, stuff that will stretch a couple of meals or I can freeze, then just some simple potato, meat, vegetable meals, Brinner breakfast for dinner, or a breakfast on the weekend. So I have homemade pancakes and homemade beans, and then I did get sausage last week that was on sale. And then I also have a few easy meals, ones that are already prepared. Chicken parm is easy to pull together. I have some chicken cutlets I can do in the air fryer. And then ramen and chicken noodle soup. I have the protein, onions, carrots, and celery. I always haven't tried to have this year. I always have broth, and then the noodles. So that's some easy peasy meals to kind of throw together. So I just kind of write that down, and then, you know, that's kind of what my focus is because I have the ingredients for it. And then I quickly looked through the Flip app at the flyers. Nothing really jumped out because I didn't really need a lot. I just grabbed a couple of salad kits. I also got bananas and some bubble bath, and that's just kind of what we needed. But I'm going to take a little bit of time to go through later just to see what's on sale. Potatoes, I noticed there's lots of carrots and onions on sale, I think, too. So for example, like these meat sticks in the summertime, I would have bought them more because we would have had, like, you know, cucumbers and dip and colder stuff, and then that would kind of be a protein to have for lunches. But now this time of the year, like for today, you know, heating up that squash and having like a nice warm filling meal is what we need as we get into the cooler temperatures. So I'm going to take a little bit of time here, and that's usually what I do is I try and buy the things that are on sale. I need to learn prices because I don't even know what is a good price for beef, and then I think raspberries were on sale somewhere, and grapes. So that's how I try and do it, and then do the Walmart pickup order when I kind of need everything, like milk, orange juice, yogurt, like when I need all of those kind of staple things, and it's just easier to get everything, you know, picked for me and then brought out to my car. So just a little bit of that organization and everything done today. I have a pizza dough recipe I've been using for years. It makes a couple of pizzas with it, and I was looking for something for just a single pizza. This one had really good reviews. It was very similar to what I have been making, and it says it's good for a 10 to 12 inch single dough pizza. All of the instructions really easy to follow. I will link it down below. I think they also had it on there if you wanted to use a stand mixer, and that is usually what I use, but I'm really trying to simplify my kitchen, and I wanted a pizza dough recipe that I could just whip up very easily and do everything with my hands. So I put everything together. I did let the yeast sit for a few minutes. The recipe didn't say to do that. And then I'm just adding in the flour and then a little bit of olive oil at the end. And I'm going to take my wooden spoon and just mix it all together. Now, I wasn't too sure how this was going to come together because sometimes it's really crumbly and you need to add more water, or sometimes, you know, there's too much liquid. And I was pleasantly surprised with how this came together. And then I just put a little bit of flour on and I just kind of kneaded it into a ball. And then I think the instructions said 7 to 9 minutes. So I just set the timer, and I don't even think I did it for the full time because I just found it came together really quickly, and I didn't want to overwork it because I find sometimes that can make it a little tough. So I'm just spraying the bowl, putting it in there. I'm just going to put parchment paper on top of it and then put it in my oven, a little warm place. And I think it said to let it sit for about 30 minutes, and I let it sit for about an hour. I just punched it down, got my rolling pin out, and see how it turns out. I am really pleased with how this dough came together. I didn't need to work it a lot. It was very easy to roll out. I just lifted it up, put it in the pan, and then just went to shape it. Now, my pan is 14 inches, and I found the crust was just a little bit too thin, but I really think the 12-inch pan would be perfect. We just did pepperoni, green pepper, and mushrooms. I think it was $4.75 it said, and I did it for 12 minutes. It came out perfect, but I did find the crust was a little bit thin on the one side, but we could pick it up and eat it. It was very tasty, and I just loved how easy it was to come together. Like, it is something I could whip up and not make a great big mess in my kitchen. We had a salad kit to go along with it, and then Andrew just had some fruit. It was a really nice, quick, easy dinner for Friday night, and I can't wait to try it with the 12-inch pan. And we're starting a Halloween puzzle. I had been looking online for this, and it was always sold out. Went into the thrift store, there it was for $3. I also really like the size of the pieces. They are smaller than the ones that we normally do. Even if all of the pieces aren't here, it's something I've been wanting to do, but I'm thinking positive. I'm hoping that they are all there, and I love the quality of this puzzle. So anyways, it was the first game of the World Series, and I don't know a lot about the Dodgers, but I do know that they are a very good team, and the Blue Jays, they did what they've been doing all season. They have this one amazing inning. The whole team contributes, and with the price of the tickets, if you were a Blue Jays fan, you definitely got your money's worth. Game 2 was more of a pitching duo, and, you know, the Blue Jays just couldn't connect with their bats, and now they go back to LA for 3 games, and I really do hope that it goes like 6, even the full 7. I think it'll be a great series for both fan bases, but I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all tomorrow.